And we're going to take a look at some of the ticker symbols that were in play today. Okay, yeah, Bitcoin has been running very hard, and we have a few Bitcoin stocks that we've been following in our chat that have been doing very well. On Monday, we had a big breakthrough on a couple of plays. I'll show them next. And then here we have GBTC, which is the Bitcoin Investment Trust. This is just incredible. We posted a video last night showing this stock and the incredible move that it was making, and it had closed near an all-time high yesterday. It was an all-time high close, and then it hit all-time high levels, and then today it proceeded to bust out another 40%. Closed up another 41%, closing near high of day. I mean, just an incredible multi-day run and just a super strong uptrend. Remember, in the last video we were showing how this started in the 20s. So yeah, from the 20s all the way to 415, hitting 420. That is incredible. Bitcoin's on fire. So we're the signal on this type of play when it's breaking out is you need to follow the intraday charts. Notice there was a huge volume spike today, so giant volume behind the move. Also take a look at MACD on both time frames. Look how vertical the MACD line is. When it starts getting super perpendicular like that, it is a sign that the run is unsustainable. This trajectory, it cannot continue with this trajectory. It's just unsustainable. At some point, it's going to have to top out. And so how do you know when this is going to top out? Well, one of the clues is this push well above the upper Bollinger Band, which is currently at 328, and the EMA4 is at 317. Notice the close well above, so it's pushing super hard. Many times when that happens, the candles need to work back into the bands, similar to this candle here, how red candles followed. If you look up here at Fasto, you'll see it's currently at 98. 100 is maxed, so it's almost maxed on Fasto. You've got this super peak up here on Plus DI, hitting the all-time high levels, and then you've got RSI up here at 89, and this was a current level where it topped out in the past. So you see it closed right at the same level, which was the peak here, which was the close above the upper Bollinger Band. So is history going to repeat here? We're going to see a little slowdown tomorrow. Well, this is a big climax spike here, but the close was strong. So let's take a look here at the 15-minute chart for GBTC, and you'll see the setup. What happened was there was a push to 420, which is the current key level to break. That happened today at 12:45, and that was the high close. And then the share price pulled back, found support at EMA 8, and it ended up bouncing off that level and ran all the way into the close. So now it formed essentially a double top with 420. It's going to need to break that level to head higher. If it fails to break 420 tomorrow, that's going to be your signal that it's finally cooling down, and look for a potential pullback. The middle Bollinger Band here at 381 will be the target once it tops out. If that fails to hold, you could see a huge drop down to the 50 SMA, which is currently at 325. Keep in mind the moving averages are rising, so we're talking about a huge potential drop if this thing does cool down. Just keep in mind that Bitcoin makes parabolic moves up and down. Well, the thing is if the candles are cruising above the middle Bollinger Band, which is this dotted purple line, that does signal more upside potential. Notice the close was above EMA4, the pink line. That's as strong as it gets. So this chart is very strong. It's just hitting a double top at the close. So the question is, can it bust higher? We'll have to see tomorrow. Notice there was huge volume behind the move. MACD is pinched. There was a bearish crossover on both time frames. So that is a red flag. It did cross over on the 8, 13, and 5. Bulls, you'd want to see the MACD line cross over on both time frames. There was also a PSAR bull flip into the close as well. So we'll keep an eye on GBTC, and we'll see if it can keep on going. If it fails to break 420, look for a pullback to that middle Bollinger Band on the 15-minute chart. Okay, here's a stock that just did incredible today, BTCS. I'm not sure if you are following our website or not, but if you look back here, this was posted a couple days ago on Monday. We posted this chart here showing that BTCS was, or this was yesterday, and we were showing that BTS was pulling back, needed to break resistance, and we were actually on this play on Monday, and so yeah, we just highly recommend that if you're into trading these penny stocks and just trading in general, that you make it into our chat, because a lot of these plays are in our chat first, but way before they come out onto the public airwaves. And so basically what I'm saying is we were all over this BTCS on this move on Monday when it broke back above the middle Bollinger Band, and so it cooled down yesterday, and we put out alerts, you know, in the chat and on the website, saying that this looks like a pause, because notice how a red candle formed yesterday but not a bearish reversal pattern. Many times that's just a pause candle with this new possible uptrend starting with the middle Bollinger, close above the middle Bollinger Band. And what we were looking for today was a break above the 50-day simple moving average at 0.07. It struggled a little bit at the beginning of the day to break that level, but once it did, it really got running, and so that was the signal to jump back in if you hadn't already. Or if you, you know, once you loaded on this Monday candle, there was no reason to exit, because this red candle here did not form a bearish reversal pattern. So many swing traders were still in our chat from the 5s, and so now they're looking really good up here in the 12s. We were looking for today a close above this 100-day simple moving average at 11, and the share price really pushed strong into the close, closing above that level. So now that's going to be the key level to turn into support. We want to see the 100-day simple moving average hold and the share price to push off that level, to push higher. You know, this could really get moving if it can turn that level into support. The close was well above the upper Bollinger Band. It also did close above the 200-day simple moving average. If it does pull back, look for a reload off this 200-day simple moving average and EMA4 support zone. Okay, as long as candles are riding EMA4 support higher, the chart is super strong with more upside potential. You can see what GBTC is doing. Now we have BITC or BTCS following suit, and so we're looking for this uptrend to continue. You know, tomorrow, if you see a break below 11, that's going to be a signal to go on the sidelines and look for a reload lower. If 11 holds, that's going to be your signal that could push higher. You know, it's going to need to work through this resistance zone here, but a couple of the big levels to break are going to be up here around the 23, 24 level, and if they can get past that, then you're talking about 32, this previous high close. So yeah, this is super strong. You've got huge volume behind the move. Look how volume is increasing. This is an increasing volume pattern, and that's always nice to see. There wasn't a sell-off end of day, so there wasn't the climax spike like you would normally see. So we're going to see if it'll follow through. Be sure to follow the 15-minute chart, just like we were talking about on GBTC. Now look at BITCF. This is another Bitcoin stock that we were on this week as well. It closed back above the 50-day simple moving average on Monday, but it failed to close above the middle Bollinger Band. We were looking for a close above that level, and that happened yesterday. It was looking like it was really going to get going yesterday, and then it pulled back and it formed this doji. And so, and then today, it's you know, was able to hold the same zone, but it did form this black candle. The candles are forming above the middle Bollinger Band. As long as candles are forming above this 32, this 31 to 32 zone where the 50-day simple moving average and middle Bollinger Band meet, then a new uptrend should begin. If there's a break below, then that's going to signal downside risk and it's not ready to go. What we're really looking for are two big key levels to break. Okay, first off, we want to see this resistance zone here, and then we want to see this high close. This will be the two big levels on this chart, and then if it can get above these levels, it could really get moving. If you look here, there's this resistance zone here, which is right about 49 or so, 49.50. If it can bust through there, then we're talking about a potential run up here to the I believe that was around 75 or so, the high close. So yeah, so keep an eye on BITCF. It looks like it's setting up, you know, with BTCS running and with GBTC running. It looks like BITCF should follow suit. We're really liking the volume bars here. We're liking the PSAR bull flip. Liking it's very bullish that you have the current share price is 0.395, and then you look over here at the moving averages, and it's currently trading above all the moving averages. So this is extremely bullish. It just needs to bust through this upper Bollinger Band at 49, and then it could possibly run up here to the 70s. Another thing that's signaling, another indicator that's signaling the chart is heating up is MACD. Check out the 2 time frames here. There was already a bullish crossover on the 8, 13, and 5, and then now we have this bullish crossover on the 12, 26, and 9. These are all signals that the chart is heating up. Okay, you want another couple signals? Well, check this out. You got RSI is now above 50, so now it's in the bull zone. Notice when it was heading lower, it was below 50. Now that it broke above, that's signaling upside potential. And then you also have Fasto above 50 as well. So it's in the 50 to 80 bull zone. Another signal that the chart is heating up and building strength. And then we'll go for one more. We've got the classic ADX bullish crossover with plus DI crossing minus DI and ADX to the upside. With the green line above the black and the red lines, that's a signal that the bulls are actually in control. So this looks like a little holding loading pattern before a potential spike higher. So keep an eye on BITCF. Okay, we'll look at GLBS. This was a marine transportation shipping sector stock that did extremely well today, closed up 82%. Congrats to everybody that caught the morning alert. There was an alert put out on StockTwits when it was up 7% this morning. So that's monster percentage gains from the alert. Congrats to everyone that's following. I do recommend that you follow on StockTwits. Keep in mind that the alerts that go on StockTwits when I post the top 11, top 12 plays of the day, those have already been alerted in our chat through me posting charts and TA on all the plays. I go through each one of the top performing stocks, and I post a chart and TA on each one, before I post it out onto StockTwits. So just keep that in mind. If you want to get the early information, you've got to be in the chat and engaged. It really pays to be engaged. Like I said yesterday, it only costs 50 cents a day to be in the chat, or if you want to pay the $20 a month, it's only 66 cents a day. That's like how much money you give the homeless guy. It's the spare change. It's just spare change. It's change in your pocket to be able to have the early notice that that these stocks are heating up and getting ready to run. And that's why I've been putting out the penny wise and pound foolish statement, is because really by not getting these alerts early, you're just costing yourself. So yeah, and we also post the resistance levels as well. And so if you look here at GLBS, you've got this big bounce down here. So look at the huge volume bar, a giant volume behind the move. This is exactly what bulls wanted to see. We were looking for a close above EMAs 4 and 8 today. If you notice here, there was this, the last time it broke above EMA 4, it closed right below EMA 8, and that happened again back here. And so, we didn't, we were very glad when it busted through EMA 8. We weren't expecting that, but that was always awesome when these shipping stocks get moving. Sometimes they can really run, and then so this busted through EMA 13 and the middle Bollinger Band. So this is exactly what bulls wanted to see today. This was an incredible move. If you do go back here and you look back here in this March close above the middle Bollinger Band, it failed to turn that level into support the last time it closed above that level, and it pulled back and the downtrend continued. So we'll be keeping an eye out for history repeating and for a red candle forming tomorrow and it pulling back, but we're looking for a bullish change in trend. One difference on the move back here in March is notice that the close was right below the 50-day simple moving average, this green line. Basically the 50-day simple moving average and the middle Bollinger Band were close to the same level at that time. We'll look at them now. The middle Bollinger Band is only down at 156, and the 50-day simple moving average is twice as high at 304. Okay, so this is our target. The 50-day simple moving average currently at 304 is what we are shooting for if the middle Bollinger Band can turn into support. That will line up with this high close right here in April, and so that is the target at $3 if the middle Bollinger Band can turn into support. If the middle Bollinger Band breaks, all bets are off and you do not want to be holding. Why do you not want to be holding? Look at this chart here. It's deathly to be holding GLBS if candles are forming below the middle Bollinger Band and it's in a downtrend, unless you're going for a quick trade. Just keep that in mind. These stocks are highly volatile and can be very dangerous if you get caught holding the bag. So yeah, look here at the 15-minute chart. Very, very strong. Today, it had the classic setup where we had the tight Bollinger Bands. Notice how tight the Bollinger Bands are here. And then it was the break right here. This was it. This was the magic showtime candle right here at 11 o'clock. Busted above the 50, closed above the 100. That was your signal right there. Bam, it's in play. What was that accompanied with? A bullish volume spike. That was when I put out the alert that it was up 7%. And then next thing you know, that sucker just kept running. It turned the 100-day simple moving average into support. What we were looking for was a close above the 300-day simple moving average at 126, and we wanted to see that level turn into support. That happened, which was super cool. We didn't know if it was going to top out and pull back, but on this candle here at 2, it just kept pushing higher. So the close was actually really strong above EMA 4. Currently, the key resistance level to break is going to be this 3 o'clock close, and so you're going to want to see a break above 170 tomorrow to signal the breakout higher on the 15-minute chart. And then it consolidated here between 160 and 170. So if you see a drop below 160, there could be a drop all the way down to the middle Bollinger Band, which is down here currently at 137. It'll be around 140 or so. So yeah, you want to see 160 hold and 170 break if you're a bull. As long as the candles are riding EMA's 4 and 8 support higher on the 15-minute chart, the signal is to ride. It did close on this big red volume bar, and it was an inverted candle on the close, almost inverted doji here. And so that is a signal that there's possibly profit taking into the close. So keep an eye on it. It's got to turn that middle Bollinger Band into support on the daily chart. Okay, here's a bounce play that we're looking at, MNKD. This is setting up here. This is the previous chart that we had posted. Notice how it had formed this symmetrical triangle pattern, and it's got the top here with the high close on the 22nd, and then it pulled back yesterday. It formed a bearish Haremy reversal pattern, and today, it formed a red candle, but it was a higher low today, and it closed again above EMA 4. So you have this flag coming off of this candle here, and basically what's going on is there's support at EMA 4 currently at 126, and resistance at the 50-day simple moving average at 132. And to head higher, it's going to need to break above 132 and the 50-day simple moving average, and then this closing price on the 22nd. And if it fails to hold this 126 support level, then you could possibly see a big drop down to this green support line and maybe even the middle Bollinger Band. Now with this near doji that formed today, it is an indecision candle that does signal a pause in the action, that this is a strong uptrend. Candles are forming above the middle Bollinger Band. There was a previous very strong downtrend that reversed on the close above the middle Bollinger Band, and now an uptrend is starting. Okay, there was a close above the 50-day simple moving average twice. Now the next break above that should be the magic charm. The third time it should bust out, and if it does get above that 50, then we're talking about this close right here at 160, the high may close, and then we're talking about potential run up here to the 100-day simple moving average at 207. That's where we'd like to see this head. Not sure if it's going to get there, but if it can break resistance, it might be able to. Notice that there was low volume today, so it looks like the sellers have dried up, and today was looking like a loading day. Okay, let's look at CNBX. Okay, this is a stock that we posted information on our website for the marijuana news and charts. And let's see here. If you look here, we've got the CMVIX is setting up for this play for a potential bounce, and I wanted to show you the different charts that we posted here. So you've got the 50-week simple moving average here on the weekly chart that's being tested at 94. Now it was holding that into the close, and we're thinking that's a huge support level to bounce off. Another key support level is going to be the let's see here. Down here at on this daily chart here. Now look at the daily chart. Now you can see that there was a break below the 200-day simple moving average, and then now it came down and it tested the 300-day simple moving average at 80, and that's our huge support level right there. We're thinking it doesn't drop below the 300, so 80 is the bottom. It was hitting the 80s today. You know, we put out alerts that this was looking like a load in the 80s, so we'll see if it can hold support there. There are 5 red candles in a row. If you look here, you'll see that on this 15-minute chart, there was a close today above the middle Bollinger Band. So this close here at 94, it is a good sign that it wants to break out higher. It needs to hold the middle Bollinger Band tomorrow. As long as candles stay above the middle Bollinger Band, that'll signal upside potential. Our next target to break is the 50 simple moving average at 101. Now CNBX will not be officially in play until it busts above the 50 SMA on the 15-minute chart and holds that level, and then it'll be the official, okay, this baby's in play and it's ready to go. Right now, this is a signal that it's heating up. When it breaks the middle Bollinger Band, it's heating up. And now we have the PSAR bull flip, and then notice there's the big volume spike into the close. Notice there was big volume today. Today looked like the low day. We were mentioning the 80s, and notice that was a big support level here at 88, and you know, there was just some really big volume off of that level. So we're thinking players have loaded and setting up for the bounce. So we're looking for a potential bullish reversal pattern to form tomorrow. So keep an eye on it. If it does drop lower, we're looking at 80 as the load zone. Okay, so OPXA is another stock that has caught our interest. Now OPXAW, it keeps making the top gainer list, and so we've been watching this OPXA. Now it doesn't have enough volume to be a good play. It only traded 63,000 shares. So in order to be a good play, it has to have liquidity. This is just a very thinly traded stock in general, so it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But yeah, we're going to show you this chart here, and there was a close above the middle Bollinger Band last week. We put out a chart, and you know, was stating that, you know, it needed to turn that level into support. We've been watching this play for a little while, and then it closed back above that level on Monday, and then now it's held the last 2 days. It hit our next target, the 50-day simple moving average at 70, and it pulled back. We're looking for a break above that level. Once it breaks above the 50, we're thinking it runs all the way up to the 100 at 84. So you know, you can see a nice 20% gain if it can bust through the 50-day simple moving average. As long as it holds this middle Bollinger Band at 63, this new uptrend should continue. So keep an eye on it. You know, the light volume once again is a signal that the sellers have tired. The candles are above the middle Bollinger Band. They're above EMA4, just like, you know, some of the other plays that we have going on right now. It just needs to bust through that 50-day simple moving average to head higher. So keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on NAO. This is another play that we've been following as well. You know, sometimes you know, people just kind of lose interest, especially when you have this sideways channel type pattern happening. But you know, sometimes you take your eye off the prize and you miss the bullish move. So just, it's good when you have stocks on your radar and you're waiting for a specific type of technical development to check it daily, if you can get a chance, just to see where it's at and whether or not it's getting ready to go. Okay, so what we've been looking for on this play is we're looking for a close above this level right here. This is the bottom of the gap. This is the top of the gap. This is the bottom of the gap. This is acted as big resistance. Okay, as we showed in a previous chart, that this had filled this jar back to the bottom of the gap level, and it's hitting the top of this channel. And so keep an eye on it for a break above 120. It's about 119 or so actually, and once it breaks above that level, that should be the signal that it's finally ready to go. And you can see a run all the way up here to this 100-day simple moving average at 156 and a possible gap fill. Okay, it's probably best, you know, just not to enter until you get a break above 118, 119, you know, this 120 zone, because you could end up just holding, waiting. You know, while you're waiting for a play to develop, if you're waiting and you're holding the stock, then that cash is not being used for other plays, and so you're actually missing out. So we try to time these plays so that you're holding for the least amount of time, and so that's why we set up the key resistance levels and support levels for places to take positions and to exit. Okay, so yeah, so the bullish development is that the candles are are forming above the 50-day simple moving average with this close above. So that you have the 20-day simple moving average, which is also the middle Bollinger Band, bull crossing the 50-day simple moving average. So the chart is building strength, and candles are forming above both levels and above EMAs 4, 8, and 13. So the chart is still strong. It's just very boring right now. So keep an eye out for a bullish volume spike and a push through resistance. As long as the $1 and 50-day simple moving average holds, there will still be more upside potential. And then just one more play to show you real quick. BUDZ is another stock that we covered. We covered it yesterday on our marijuana stocks charts and news part of our website. And the bullish development yesterday was the close above EMA 4. Notice how it had been resistance for a very long time. We like the close above and the big volume down at the bottom. Now today it closed back below EMA 4 and it failed to break EMA 8, so that is a big red flag. It's always a risk to hold a penny stock or any stock for that matter that's in a downtrend on the daily chart and it's forming candles below EMA 4. But keep an eye on this. If it breaks above EMA 8, that's going to be a signal it's ready to head higher. It did make a higher low today, so that is positive, and so keep an eye on that. You know, volume did dry up a little bit, so you know, this is another low volume play. Okay, if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to learn more, check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com. Thank you.